All right, I'm back with the shenanigans once again, week 42. Let's get into it. As always, I'm gonna start with checking my last week. Quite a lot of trades last week. Wow. Okay. So what went well? I traded good contacts and good momentum and only took trades that followed rules. Yeah, that's cool, but if I remember correctly, there was quite a few trades that I didn't take that actually met rules. So, yeah. What went bad was that I missed a few valid trades. Once I did not pay attention, then I didn't set up the order on time. Pathetic excuse, and I wasn't following that time frame. Yep, I remember. The results overall were really nice, plus 8.6, but I left almost 10R on the table. Had I captured that 10R, damn, that would have been nice. But, gotta be completely honest with myself. The good thing is, as always, that my system is capable of capturing these moves. That's super, super important to realize. Like, I'm trying to trade as little as possible and to be super strict with the types of trades that I'm taking. And of course, that leads to sometimes hesitating a little bit. I'm still like gathering experience, and once I get all of this weeded out and I am able to perform just the way that my system tells me to, I know that week by week I'm capturing a lot of R, and that's just great to know. It puts confidence into my system, and slowly but surely I'm going to train myself to actually perform perfectly. At least that's the goal. So that's that. Let's get into this week, and I have to bring this to front so I don't actually see the results. Although, honestly, it doesn't matter too much. I don't have a lot of stuff here, two trades, and I think this beautifully shows um, what it's like to not trade when there is nothing to trade, right? When it comes to crypto crashed last week, and since then, like if I go to TradingView real quick, if I go to Bitcoin, we can see that on the weekly, like yeah, now it's kind of breaking lower below this low, right? But still, I'm not shorting here at all. Like never would I short here, right? This is some kind of sideways price action, and overall, I'm expecting this to be a reaccumulation. So the moment we sweep over here, I'm expecting demand to come back in, right? I'm not going to short into this. In order for me to short, I need to see some serious breakdown, some stage one, and some break lower again, and then I can short. Sorry, and I can short on the way. But right now, yeah, this whole thing might be a distribution. It might be, but it might as well just be a reaccumulation. So I'm just waiting on the sidelines and I'm chilling. And as like currently we are sideways, but the sells are in control, right? So I'm kind of waiting for the demand to come back in, and maybe then I will be interested again. But I'm not even taking beta plays right now because altcoins got absolutely fucked, and I mean like oh my god, like let's check AVAX for example. Like what the fuck are these enormous wicks, man? Like all of this just invalidates any kind of setups that I could potentially have. Like MNT looks kind of alright, but even then it's at or well around the bottom of the range. I'm not really trading in those areas anyway. What else is nice? BNB, yeah, it's at the bottom over here. I'm not trading that here. Zach is like the only one that looks really good, and Zora looks okay, but even now, like, what the fuck are these wicks, man? I'm probably just gonna wait for it to break higher. I'm gonna add an alert here. So that's that. And when it comes to NAS, NAS is kind of okay. Like the weekly, of course, is going higher, really nice. The daily kind of like liquidated some lows here, right? So let's say this low over here got liquidated, beautiful, and it's now in reaccumulation, and it still looks relatively bullish. So it makes total sense to look for relative performance, relative outperformance, and beta plays in individual stocks. So I think that's also the only trade that I have this week is an individual stock trade. Everything else is trash. Like if yeah, I'm not gonna go over everything. I went over it every day and just like both the weekly sometimes okay, but the daily is just choppy, sideways nonsense weak. Just nothing interesting whatsoever. So yeah. Before I get into the trades, once again gonna go over my instructions. So As always, don't make mistakes. That's my number one goal. Uh, I'm okay with sometimes not taking a valid trade. It sucks, but it's all right. It's much, much worse to take a trade that does not meet rules. So that's the number one thing that I actually want to eliminate. So far, I'm doing pretty well. So focus on the rules, not the R. Yep, it's all about that. Like as long as I can grow confidence that I am able to stick to my rules, that's all that matters. Capital preservation, doing good with that. Laptop screen, screener watch list. Yep, I'm doing all of that. Look for trending markets. Don't trade stage one. This is all instilled very, very well. And yeah, actually, nothing much has changed here. Like these things, honestly, like reading them all the time has brought me so much clarity, and I'm no longer making most of these mistakes, which is beautiful to see, and which is also reflected in the amount of trades that I'm taking, right, which is quite low. Anyway, let's get into the analysis, I guess. So first things first is Monday. Monday, lots of bank holidays, including in the US, so probably not that much happening, but looks like I do have some stuff on the watch list. So here I have UK 100. I mean, makes a lot of sense, right? Some kind of stage one breakout, pull back into the rising 1020. Yep, that's beautiful. Silver, honestly, like I think this move is overextended, and I watched it, but I really need to see this flush. Same with gold. I know that it ended up going higher, but that's just an extension, and an extension of a trend is not something that is very reliable. It does happen, but it doesn't happen very often. So I don't want to be trading that. And here I have some cryptos. So even after the flush, like yeah, so here, that was a big flush in crypto, and MNT looked pretty damn strong. The recovery was pretty good. It didn't break too low, and I was watching MNT for a while already. So I'm not saying I would trade it right here, but it's something that I kept watch. Yeah, basically kept on my watch list and wanted to see how it develops. Makes total sense. This crypto, what is this? It's BNB, of course. Same here. I mean, maybe I would trade something here, ideally if it broke into a new higher range. And one more crypto, I bet this is ZAC, right? Yeah, ZAC. ZAC looks really, really strong. So, makes sense. Uh, it's a bank holiday, so I expect no low time frame trades. And some cryptos look okay, especially BNB, once again. Cool. So, it looks like I do have a crypto trade here. So, let's jump into Myro. Is that it? Yep, that's the BNB trade. I didn't take this one, but let's analyze it. So, weekly, some kind of sideways. Actually, let me get this and make it white. Okay, some kind of sideways. Then it breaks higher. MMB1, MMB2. This looks very, very nice, especially here it reaccumulated. So, looks decent. On the daily here, I would say that this whole thing, yeah, like, this whole thing makes, honestly, it should invalidate the entire range, kind of. Like, this is so irregular. Nothing ever looks like this when I trade. But let's just see what happens anyway. So here we probably have some kind of stage one, breaks higher, stage one again, and now it's breaking higher. Cool. So what do we have here on the 5 minute? It's a 5 minute trade. So stage two looks pretty nice, pulls back into the rising 1020, and then from here it does a beautiful DMB. I really like this DMB, by the way. I think it's nice. So let me mark that up. So this would be MB1. I want to have it white and dotted, please. Thank you. And this would be MB2. I would say they are very similar in size. I kind of like it, but I ended up not taking this trade, and I probably ended up not taking it because of this entire range, I would assume. So the ultimate question, as always, if I could take this trade right now, would I take it or not? The answer would be probably no. The reason for that is I can simply wait for a better market where this is not present. This entire thing is super rare. Like, I don't see this happening very often. This was literally a black swan event in crypto. All the exchanges went on a liquidation cascade, except for one exchange, which was Hyperliquid. Everything got like giga fucked, and the infrastructure and the tech stack failed. So a lot of stuff got absolutely destroyed. I do not need to trade during moments like these, and that's important to realize. I can simply wait and get into something that is more consistent. So that's ultimately how I'm going to approach this. I'm going to say no to this trade, and why? Most importantly, because of the inconsistency. Inconsistent. I hate trading inconsistent markets, so that's what I'm going to stick to. But anyway, let me mark this up. This is definitely good momentum. Actually, I thought about this might be taking unnecessary time. Like, I already know what good momentum looks like, and I don't need to mark it up every time. I'm just gonna mark up stuff that like hits me in the face. Like something that needs to be said about a given trade. It doesn't need to be said here that this is good momentum. I know it is. Doesn't need to be said. Oh, by the way, looks like okay. I was just checking my indicators because on the weekly I did not have the inefficiencies visible, but I already do, so that's fine. So yeah, I'm only going to mark up the stuff that is like completely obvious, something that I want to take note of, and that is here, the inconsistency. So this is all looking nice, and now I can actually mark stuff up over here. So C2 is definitely good momentum here. C1 is ugly because it's inconsistent. And then the 60-minute is looking very nice. Like 60-minute good momentum, 5-minute good entry. I really, really like this. Perfect entry even. So let's see how I actually manage this trade. The overall crypto market looks trash. Don't want to trade this really. Okay. If I had traded it, I would be risk-free pretty much right after here. And the reason for that is that that is this high over here, right? This little high. So the moment price moves above this high, I want to be risk free because if it's just a liquidity grab, most likely price is going to go seek liquidity on the downside. And if it does so, I don't want to get a -1 unnecessarily. Instead, I will give it a chance to break through very strongly and capture the trade. And if that doesn't happen, all good. I'm going to get a break even. And that's kind of exactly what happens. Breaks higher a little bit and then just instantly dumps for a break even. So management here would be really, really nice. But ultimately, I did not take this, and the decision was uh, good that I didn't take. Nice. So that's closed. Good, good. Nothing else to add, I think. hmm Overall, this trade was a mistake because it was inconsistent. There we go. Okay, and that concludes Monday. Nothing set up, and I'm calling it a day. Makes sense. So, coming in Tuesday. Some news very late. I usually don't trade here anyway, so it doesn't matter. Don't have any alarms. Nothing even to watch. Absolutely nothing on my watch list. Everything looks crap. Cool. Don't even add any reflection. I just ignore this day, I guess. So Tuesday, nothing. Cool. Let's go to Wednesday. So some AUD news. Who cares about that? So here I have a watch list, and I already started adding the stocks as well, right? So let's check this out. So first of all, I was looking at Zora over here. Yep, makes total sense. Big, strong stage two. Then a nice, consistent flagging pullback that liquidates something, right? Uh, I would say pretty much here we could see an accumulation schematic as well, and then we see a strong move above and a pullback into the rising 1020. Makes total sense that I would be looking for a trade over here. This is definitely an MMB, so that's nice. Here's some stocks. So what do I have here? RKLB. Yep, beautiful stage one. Breaks higher, pulls back into the rising 1020, and is below the floating supply. Perfect place to look for a trade. What do I have here? IONQ, very similar, some kind of stage one breakout, pullback into rising 1020, breakout higher. So this is MMB1. Either it's all MMB1 or this is now MMB2. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that it's not overextended. So looking for a trade there makes total sense. Here we have RR. Okay, so this is some kind of stage one, MMB1 to 3. And this is probably the last area where I would look for a trade. But yeah, RR makes sense as well. And lastly, I have Jobby over here. So strong stage two, pulls back, some kind of, yeah, here's a distribution, pulls back. It's for an overall reaccumulation, right? And here it goes to MMB1, MMB2. That pulls back into the demand zone and has a strong pop out of it. So this is kind of the last area where I would look for a trade, and I think this is actually what I end up trading. So overall, I would say this looks very, very nice. So nothing on the watch list. Okay, garbage market expecting zero trades. Yep, but after New York Open, some stuff became interesting, especially some stocks. Yeah, I actually screened for stocks just before New York Open, so I added this a little bit later. But when I checked in for London, everything looked pretty trash. But I end up actually taking a stock trade, which I should have over here. Before I get to that, let me do this. So this was a mistake, and I didn't take it. Very good. And this is the trade that I take. So here we are, weekly, very, very strong move, pull back into the rising 1020, and here it's already making a stage 2 into a pullback. The expectation is, of course, continuation towards new highs. Here we are on the daily, strong stage 2. Here, some kind of reaccumulation. Let me make this smaller. Wait. Okay, some kind of reaccumulation over here. Beautiful. Then it creates some kind of stage 1 here. Breaks higher. This is probably MMB1, I would say. MMB1. And by no means is this overextended. Pulls back into the demand zone, and let's see how it reacted on that demand zone. So here we have a strong stage 2. Very important. Uh, this this is okay. This is okay. Like it creates a stage 1 here, right? Lows are being liquidated. Very nice. And resistance breaks higher, so this is looking decent. And here it has, so this is the last possible scenario. Here, when it pulls deep into the demand zone, what I'm looking for is a very, very strong DMB, right? That's like the last kind of trade that I'm willing to take. And that's exactly what happens here off of a spring, which is perfect. And yep, this is the strong DMB. So of course, I set this up for a trade, and I actually very much like this trade. I think this trade was great. And I think that ends up being a -1, but let's check how I manage. So this just taps me in and instantly fucks me up. So, yep. Overall, that was a good trade, I think. So, what here is standing out? I don't know. I think everything here looks good. I will call this last valid setup because that's what it is. And overall, yeah, I think this is nice. So, what do I want to do here? Do I want to mark up the MBs? Maybe. I mean, yeah, maybe. So, ooh, something along this line and this. Yep. Okay. I can even make it bigger. It doesn't matter. Yep, I think this was a very nice trade. So overall, let's go mark this up. C2, very, very good momentum. C1, yep, looks good. Is it a stage 1 breakout? No, it's just good momentum. Validation, well, actually, this trade does not have a C2. This is weekday. This is a, whoa. Oh, it's a 1 hour entry. Okay, I see. So this is good momentum, and this is a good entry. Yep. I'm just going to call it perfect. And management-wise, there was nothing to do, so that was perfect as well. So overall, this trade was, yeah, I think it was perfect. It ended up being -1, but that's okay. And the decision was good. Cool. Reflection, nothing here. Okay. Moving on to Thursday. Actually, here, I'm just going to write perfect. And I can already remove this. Yep. So BE and -1 can take this, put that over here. All right. But let's check the other days as well. So Thursday, some news, nothing really interesting. Okay, everything looks trash. Maybe some stock plays during New York. Actually ended up not taking anything. Ah, yeah, I think I know why. Okay, but I do have a lesson here, so I want to go over that lesson, and that's Anton's partialing system. Right now, I'm taking my profit at 5x, uh, 5R fixed, but I eventually want to go to a dynamic strategy, so I'm already like gathering data a little bit, gathering ideas, and well, that's why I created this lesson for myself because Anton explained how this works, how he partials. So I wrote down this. Yep, so Anton indeed now uses the E micro for BE rules. He uses a 30x smaller time frame for the micro. So if he gets tapped in on a 60-minute trade, he looks at the 2 minute. If a 240-minute trade, aka 4 hour, he looks at the 8 minute and so on. And he pretty much does the same stuff I do. First, he looks for a sign of strength and a pullback and a new high. That's when he goes break even. That's this picture here on the left. In other words, fractal structure above the entry. That's exactly what I do as well. Plus, he allows for the pullback to go back into his entry level, which is here on the right. I usually like to see the fractal structure print above my entry, but actually, like depending on how far this high is, I sometimes break even as well because as price is breaking into a new high, it should just go, 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 right? Those are the type of entries that I'm trying to capture. So makes total sense, and I don't do this every time. There's a little bit more nuance to how I do it, and I bet there's nuance in how he does it as well. Both are valid for him. And then regarding partialing, he wants to give the trade space to reach at least 4R. Once it does that, he trails the candle lows for the first 50% partial. This is a beautiful partialing system, I think. If he does that at 4R, he will pretty much capture at least like 3R on his first partial, and that's amazing. I really like that. And for the rest of the position, he trails with the EMA 20. Every time price comes back to the 20 and moves away higher, he moves his stop loss to that point. Makes total sense. Basically, he is protecting the momentum cycle, right? And last part, if price makes a crazy move, he does the same as with the first partial. He puts another 50% of the current position partial below candle lows, and I think that's pretty nice. Yep, I really like that. I'm probably gonna be doing that as well. But I'm gonna have to run a couple of tests before I actually do that. And I don't know when exactly I'm going to make that change. For now, 5R fix is serving me really, really well, so I don't feel the need too much. But I would love to be able to take advantage of some insane moves down in the future when something goes to like, I don't know, 20, 30R, right? And I can just trail with the lows and all of a sudden get an amazing, amazing move out of it. Yes, I would love that. So that's just a little lesson here that I wrote down. And reflection, my PC absolutely fucked me and I ended up fixing it the entire day. No clue if I missed anything or not. I ended up not missing anything, actually. But yeah, my PC indeed fucked me. That was crazy. Like, all of a sudden, my download speeds on the internet dropped to like zero point 0.1 megabyte per second. So I was trying to find ways to fix it, like reinstalling drivers, resetting modem, all of these different things, flushing DNS, resetting the network, you name it. I've done it. Nothing worked, so I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to recovery and I'm gonna try to restore a previous version of Windows, which I had a restoration point of the day before. So I tried that, and somehow during the restoration point, my PC got fucked, and I could no longer access Windows. So I had to I had to reinstall Windows completely, and that was quite a struggle because also like my computer didn't operate other hardware like my keyboard. It was crazy. Like I couldn't do anything. I actually had to call the service and they had to send me some drivers to my email through Google Drive. I had to put that on a disk and load it from BIOS, and ugh, it was trash, man. So I ended up pretty much the entire day till 2 a.m. fixing my PC so that on Friday I can actually trade. So that sucked. But luckily, I did not miss any trades, so that's good. And honestly, my PC needed a reinstall already, so was alright. So here's Friday. Nothing, absolutely nothing, nothing on my watch list. Okay, didn't sleep a single minute. So when I returned home from the dock, I went to bed and woke up at 2 p.m. Okay, I see, I see. Yeah, I had to go to the doctor. So I woke up at like 6:30, got back at like 9, and slept till 2 p.m. But I didn't miss anything. All market looked giga trash. Wouldn't be surprised if we had a few weeks of nothing again. Calling it a week here at 1622. Yep. So a couple of thoughts here, just looking at the markets as they are right now, and with the Trumpetsky once again announcing some crazy tariffs and whatnot. Honestly, everything looks so fucking bad that I would not be surprised to have a week or two, maybe even longer, of almost no trades once again. So if that happens, I've had that happen to me many times already by now. I do have the experience. I will not force any trades. Like, I'm wise to it by now. I know better. There's no need to trade something if it's not trending on the high time frame. We've had a couple of really nice weeks recently with, I don't know, with the American stock market moving, with gold moving, crypto moving. Lots of stuff was moving, man, and I got to trade quite a bit of it, and I got to profit off of it. So yeah, it's gonna be no surprise if now we're gonna have some, quiet time for a while. And if that's the case, I'm probably just gonna be bing chilling on the side and maybe enjoy life, mm, go on some trip or whatnot, and enjoy the flexibility that trading gives me. So what I'm not gonna do is force trade, most definitely. But my expectation here is that there might still be some interesting stock trades. I already started forward testing those, so I'm definitely gonna be looking for that. But if not, that's okay. Anyway, that's it for Friday. So let's go into what went good, what went bad. So overall, what went good is perfect week. Well, I'm just gonna say followed rules perfectly. Nice. And what went bad? Actually, nothing. Nothing. So that's great. Even though it's just two trades, actually that is great because it's a beautiful example of how this week should have looked. There was nothing for me to trade, so there shouldn't be any trades, right? So I performed perfectly, and I'm very happy for that. So my results overall are minus 1.2, and my results had I traded perfectly. I mean, I can go to analysis here, I guess, but there's no need for that. Like, okay, so perfect week. Um, Sorry, what? Is this correct? It's 42? Wait, what? What's October 12th? Um, I need my calendar. Can I please see my calendar? Okay. October 12th? Why is October 12th showing up here? Excuse me? October 12th is a Sunday. Bro, this belongs to week 41. Fuck out of here. What do you mean? All right. So perfect week minus 1.2. Yep. And this week minus 1.2. So the results reflect the perfection, I guess. So yeah, I think that's it. There's nothing much more to talk about. I addressed everything. Is there anything that I maybe drew this week? Some addition to this? I don't think so. No. So yeah, that's gonna be a very short one. Very short one this time. Okay. I guess that is it. So I wish you guys the best of luck in next week. Do not overtrade, risk responsibly, and I'll see you all next time. All right, peace.